Hello, good morning. So I'd like to talk a little bit about why I believe we need to differentiate between Bitcoin and crypto. So to understand why Bitcoin is different from anything else in the crypto space, I believe we need to look at Bitcoin as money and to understand why we need money actually in the first place. And I believe there are just two major functions of money, why we actually need money. The first one is we need to preserve what we produce today for tomorrow. We need money to work as a store of value. And then we need money to work as a medium of exchange, meaning what we produce today, we need to exchange with others in a sufficiently developed society. So there are these two functions of money, but in the end, it all boils down to just store of value. And we have a sort of inverse proof of that, because whenever a hyperinflation hits in any country, or a sufficiently high inflation, like they have in Argentina or Turkey, money stops working as a medium of exchange as well. If money breaks down as a store of value, if you cannot preserve the value produced for tomorrow, you naturally look for other mediums of exchange like foreign currencies, Bitcoin or stable coins, and in the extremes even stuff like alcohol, cigarettes and such. So, and historically, gold and silver worked best as a store of value and in turn as a medium of exchange. And this seems really simple. We just need to pick something that works, that has some good characteristics, and just use it as money, just stick to that. But it has been anything but simple throughout history. This chart shows the silver content of Roman coins from 0 AD roughly to 300 AD, and on the y-axis, on the y-axis, you can see the actual silver content. And so what happened with Roman coins is once one ruler debased the currency a bit, it sort of remelted the coins and melted them with lower silver content, there was no turning back from that. So in 300 years, the Roman rulers completely destroyed the currency, its store of value, and in turn, its quality as a medium of exchange as well. And we have seen basically this throughout history. It has happened in Rome, it has happened in Byzantine Empire, it has been happening for the past 100 years everywhere in the world. So what makes some particular instrument money? We have something called monetary attributes that we have known for roughly 2,000 years. Since Aristoteles, he basically coined these characteristics. And in order for something to be adopted as money, it needs to be scarce, portable, verifiable, divisible, and durable. And gold, historically, or gold and silver, has been quite a good monetary instrument because, first of all, it's scarce. But the problem of gold was that it's very hard to verify on your own as an individual, and it's very hard to move it around, to send it somewhere else. So that's why gold, in order to work as a proper medium of exchange, needed some intermediaries, some rulers who basically verified that this coin has certain amount of gold and silver, but they misused that power, and bankers also. The banks arose because we needed to move gold around more easily. So the fractional reserve system emerged, and the accounting system emerged where you don't move the actual gold and silver coins around, but rather just change the accounting in the bank ledgers. Now, I'm going to skip fiat a bit. Fiat basically solved some of the problems of gold, but it has other problems because it's not scarce at all. But with Bitcoin, it basically has perfect monetary attributes. It's absolutely scarce, 21 million, very easily portable. We have the Lightning Network. It's easy to verify either through your full node or looking at a block explorer. Nicely divisible, 100 million Satoshi, and it's durable because it's intangible and distributed. So now the question might be, okay, so if Bitcoin is so perfect, why hasn't it been adopted as the global money already? And I believe that's because we need to sort of extend this classic definition of money and include two new monetary attributes. Yeah. I don't know if it's visible, actually. But we need something called the Schelling point. And the Schelling point, that's a term from game theory, which describes some kind of thing that we agree on without conscious coordination. One good example of that is using English as the global lingua franca, as the global language. We are mostly Europeans here, and we could try talking in Czech, Polish, Italian, or Spanish, but we don't do that. We talk in English because that's something that emerged as the dominant language, as the Schelling point of language. And Bitcoin doesn't have that yet. Bitcoin has been around for 14 years. It has that quality in terms of crypto because it's the most recognized, let's say, cryptocurrency, but it's not yet understood as the most dominant form of money because it simply hasn't been around for so long. And that's actually bringing me to the second new monetary attribute, which is Lindy effect. And that's a sort of rule of thumb for the staying power of some institution, of some human institution. You may know the term Lindy effect from Nassim Taleb. He popularized that. And it means that if something has been around, let's say, for 14 years, it will likely stay with us for another 14 years, which is the case with Bitcoin. But 14 years isn't that high, isn't that long. Gold has been around for thousands of years, and that's why it became like this dominant, easily recognized form of money that doesn't have to be imposed on us. I believe Bitcoin will gradually get to this Schelling point and Lindy effect characteristics, but it's not there yet. And that's why it hasn't been adopted as global money yet. Another point in my case to get to why Bitcoin is different than anything else is like the moneyness quality. What makes some instrument, what ensures the monetary attributes, in fact. So for gold, it's physics. Gold is a very specific element that's hard to find in the Earth's crust, but it's basically distributed nicely everywhere around the world, unlike some scarcer elements like, let's say, platinum. And it's easily, we can smelt it easily, we can mend it, we can coin nice coins out of that. And so it has some physical qualities that make it good money, that ensure that the monetary attributes stay as they are. And throughout history, we have seen many attempts to undermine this quality of gold. So first of all, it was debasement. This is the Roman Emperor Nero, who was one of the destroyers of the Roman coins. And so what the rulers did throughout history was either shave off the coins, melt them down, and melt them again with lower silver content or gold content. Also, like legitimizing the fractional reserve policy, the rulers were always kind of in favor of the bankers issuing more currency units than what they actually had in their store in terms of real money, in terms of gold and silver. Until, in the end, gold and silver was sufficiently successfully replaced by the fiat currency, by pure paper without any linkage to gold. And we had this system since 1971. So that's little more than 50 years now. So what makes Bitcoin a good instrument for money isn't physics, it's not even math or some backing by energy. math and like energy and the proof of work, these are necessary building stones, but it doesn't ensure that Bitcoin stays good money. What that ensures is the social consensus. If we run the nodes and keep watch over the basic parameters, like there's just 6.25 Bitcoin per new block, that you cannot spend any other person's coins if you don't have the private key. If you actually withdraw the coins from an exchange and you take possession, that's how you ensure that the exchanges don't inflate the monetary base of Bitcoin. That's all social consensus. That's what we all have to do. And the protocol itself doesn't ensure that by itself. We need to do that. And there have been attempts to undermine this social consensus in the past. So we need to keep watch over that. Because Fake Toshi and Roger Ver, they tried to push like their version of the truth, their version of Bitcoin with some change parameters, and they failed. And the reason why they failed isn't because of like Bitcoin is written as some specific code and its parameters cannot be changed. They can, it's just a code. But the reason they failed is because we have this strong social consensus about what makes Bitcoin Bitcoin. It's 21 million, it's some specific, let's say, block size, and stuff like that. So it's very like a soft quality. Unlike gold, gold is just this pure element with some physical attributes. Bitcoin is up to us. It has the only thing that ensures that it stays, that Bitcoin stays Bitcoin is through the social consensus. So now, with this knowledge in our minds, let's take a look at why Bitcoin really is different than crypto. So crypto is not money. I believe like we have to say the resounding no to the question, is crypto money? And that is because crypto, let's say Ethereum and all the other coins, they don't have this strong social consensus about what makes it the real thing. Most often, this is because the other networks and coins are centralized with a pre-mine, with some charismatic leader behind it, with some foundation or even a company behind it, which makes its monetary policy unpredictable. The Ethereum fans often like tout this chart where they say the monetary policy is in fact deflationary, which makes it sort of ultra-sound money. But they are missing the point, because if you can change the monetary policy on the go, that means you can make it inflationary or hyperinflationary if the need arises. So the monetary policy, unlike with Bitcoin, is totally unpredictable. We will know how many Bitcoin there are going to be in 100 years. And the only reason why we know is because we will keep watch over that. And it's such a strong meme, such a strong characteristic of Bitcoin, that anything else that tries to fork Bitcoin and make 42 million as the cap will not be recognized as Bitcoin. And of course, the unilateral changes, hard forks, no opposition to like backwards incompatible changes. We have seen this in many of those other networks. And that, the fact that there is no social consensus because of these qualities undermines the monetary attributes. We cannot actually say what are the monetary attributes then. So if we take a look at that table again and include the crypto on the right side, we cannot say that it's scarce because the monetary policy is unpredictable and it can be changed on the fly because it doesn't have this strong social consensus about what the issuance cap is. Nobody knows what the issuance cap for Ethereum is because there is none. It might be portable, all right, it's a piece of code, it has some apps, so that's fine. But it's, again, not verifiable because you don't actually know what you are trying to verify because there is no consensus about that. That makes it undurable as well because, for example, the Ethereum 1, it survived for like, how long was it? 7 years, then it basically got killed, and a new network launched instead of that. So no Lindy effect, no Schelling point. And if there is one thing we can like compare this to, like Bitcoin versus crypto, I believe that's English versus Esperanto. English isn't imposed on us by any authority. It's like this emergent phenomenon that we have all started using English as a lingua franca, and we have several billion speakers around the world speaking English. It's messy, but it works. Esperanto, in turn, it's this top-down artificial construct that's nice on paper. It has like good logical qualities, but it's spoken by roughly 100,000 people in the world. So there are some speakers, it can survive, but it's not real living language. The same with crypto. It can be something else than money. I'm not denying that. For example, stablecoins are usable as a currency. Monero as a currency if you don't have an access to a US dollar, for example. Monero can be used as a tool for preserving privacy if you need that for some reason, for example, some darknet markets. So it's useful. It might be useful for that, but that doesn't make it money. The same way as Esperanto isn't proper language. Right, so to sum it up, Bitcoin is our best shot at separating money and state, and I believe this is very important. I haven't gone too much into depth why we need to separate money and state. You can check it out in my book. I'm going to launch it in a few seconds. So Bitcoin is the signal. This is what we should all focus on, because that's one of the most important things we need to do, to separate money from the state. Just as in the past, education, schooling, media have all been to a great extent separated from the state. We need that for money as well, because the state, with the central banks and the government, they always destroy the store of value properties of money, and in turn, it's a medium of exchange as well. Crypto is not money because it lacks this social consensus that would ensure the monetary attributes, and I believe it's just noise then. So I'd like to announce that my book that I have written in Czech some 2 years ago has been translated to English, to our lingua franca. I'm very happy for that. I'm very honored that Stefan Livera wrote a foreword for that. He's one of my all-time favorite Bitcoin podcasters. Very happy for that. And you can find the book at the Brains booth, and there's going to be a signing session today at 3 p.m. And yeah, this is it for me. I'm happy to answer any questions. Thank you.